My aunt spent years mocking me for ruining Easter as a kid. You cried over eggs and turned the whole family against me. I smiled and said, funny, I don't remember being drunk at 10 a.m. every Easter. 4 days later, she called me. You made me look like a monster. Now she's been cut off, and she's begging to be invited back to dinner. I, 20F, don't know if this is petty or not, but I've had enough of being the family punching bag every single Easter because of something I didn't even do as a kid. I know this is super random and probably not a huge deal compared to some of the wild stuff I see on this sub, but I've been losing sleep over this for the past 3 nights. I need advice, comebacks, validation, hell, maybe even a reality check if I'm totally out of pocket here, because tomorrow's Easter and I'm not going into that house without a plan. Okay, here's the backstory. Every Easter growing up, we used to do egg hunts at my grandma's house for me and my cousin. Sounds cute, right? It should have been. Except my aunt, my cousin's mom, would always show up completely trashed. Not tipsy, not haha wine mom. Full-blown slurring her words, wobbling in heels at 10 a.m., kind of drunk. She'd make this huge scene out of the egg hunt. She would literally follow me around while I was looking for eggs and point them out so that my cousin could run and grab them before I could even reach them. Not just once, every single year. It was never her daughter's eggs, only mine. I'd end up crying every Easter. My mom would have to take me inside, calm me down, and she'd be furious, but she never really caused a scene. It happened so many times I stopped wanting to go. Imagine being a little kid sobbing over a plastic egg while your drunk aunt laughs at you and calls you sensitive. Eventually, when I was maybe 9 or 10, my mom called it. No more egg hunts. She told my grandma it wasn't healthy, that my aunt always showed up drunk, and that it was ruining the holiday. My aunt, who we'll call Lisa because that's her real name and I don't care, somehow got it in her head that I was the one who told my mom she was drunk. Like, first of all, I was 9. I didn't even know what drunk meant. I thought she was just evil or allergic to joy or something. But ever since then, she has never let it go. Every damn Easter. Lisa makes this whole dramatic scene about how I ruined the egg hunts. She'll bring it up like clockwork while we're trying to eat ham and act normal. Remember when little princess over here got the egg hunts canceled because she couldn't handle competition? Or hope you're happy now that the kids have to sit around because someone tattled. It's been over a decade. I'm 20 now. I don't even care about Easter or eggs or any of it, but she will not shut up. No matter how many times I try to let it roll off my back, it just gets under my skin. And now I'm losing sleep again, like I'm 9 years old all over again. So this year, I decided I'm not going in unarmed. I want something to say back. A comeback, a zinger. I don't even care if it's mean. I just want to stop feeling so powerless. I've been practicing lines in my head like some kind of trauma stand-up set. But nothing comes out right. Like, shouldn't you be bullying some other children today, Lisa? Are you mad the fireball fairy didn't visit you this year? Wow, Lisa, you're really brave to talk crap while sober for once, but I don't know if I can pull them off. I'm not a confrontational person, and my mom's probably going to give me that look if I start anything. She doesn't like drama, but she also knows Lisa sucks. I want to support my mom. I know she doesn't like going alone now that my dad passed. He used to be the buffer at these things, and I like being there for my mom. I love her. She's done so much for me, so I'm not skipping dinner. But I'm so damn tired of Lisa treating me like I'm still the 9-year-old who cried over an egg. I've got a spine now, and maybe it's time she learned that. So Reddit, help me out. Roast me if you want, but if you've got comebacks, I need them. Or even advice on how to keep calm while being silently seethed at by someone with the emotional maturity of a decorative gourd. I'm serious. I'm open to anything. Edit. Wow, I didn't expect this much love. Thank you for the comebacks. I'm definitely writing them down. Also, to the person who said I should bring her a plastic egg filled with fireball. You might be a genius. I'll let y'all know how tomorrow goes. Wish me luck. Update. So yeah, I brought the fireball egg. I was ready for battle. But life had other plans, and for once I think I'm actually okay with that. First off, thank you. Seriously. I did not expect that many people to relate to my weird little Easter ant rant. You guys are honestly better than therapy, or at least the kind I can afford right now. I read so many of the comments on the original post, and I laughed, cried, screenshotted half of them, and felt way more validated than I ever thought possible. So thank you, truly. Okay, let me tell you what happened. I didn't get much sleep again the night before. I was so hyped up on anxiety and imaginary arguments, I could have hosted a TED Talk on how to mentally prepare for a holiday with toxic family members. I actually had a little speech prepared in case she tried to drag me in front of everyone again. I even practiced it in the mirror, which makes me cringe now, but whatever. I was ready. I ended up sleeping through my alarm and didn't even make it to dinner until right before we sat down to eat. Like walk in, right as the food was getting plated late. Not ideal. I thought I'd get side-eyed by my grandma for being late, but instead, the whole room just felt weird. Like, quiet. Not awkward quiet, just kind of still in a way that didn't make sense for this family. Especially when Lisa's around, because she never shuts up and treats every gathering like it's her personal reality show. So I'm looking around like, what's going on? No one says anything directly at first. We go through the motions. Plates, ham, side dishes, cousins talking about school. I'm just sitting there bracing for Lisa to pipe up with her annual Easter ruiner routine. But she doesn't. In fact, she barely speaks. At all. I was honestly a little scared. Like, is she saving it for dessert? Is this going to be the year she throws a deviled egg at me? And then, get this, she does try to start something, right after dessert. I was in the kitchen rinsing my plate and she walks in behind me like she's casually grabbing a napkin and goes, "You know, you still owe your cousin an Easter basket for the one you tried to take when you were, what, 7?" It was quiet. She didn't say it super loud, but it was enough. I turned around, ready. I had my line. I was going to say, "Oh yeah, guess I must have blacked that out," right along with all the times you were too drunk to walk straight. But I didn't get the chance, because my other aunt, let's call her Aunt Jackie, walks in right behind her and goes, "Actually, Lisa, that was your daughter. And maybe if you spent less time screaming at children and more time remembering stuff, we wouldn't be here." Y'all, the silence that hit that kitchen, I swear even the fridge paused. Lisa stares at Jackie like she slapped her. And then suddenly everyone else starts chiming in from the dining room. My grandma, my uncle, even one of my younger cousins, just calmly but firmly fact-checking Lisa in real time. Apparently, and here's the twist, Aunt Jackie found my Reddit post. Yep, my girl Jackie listens to a podcast that sometimes reads posts from this sub. She saw the post this morning, recognized the story immediately, and went full CSI. She didn't ask if it was me, she just knew. And before I even showed up, she and a few other family members sat Lisa down and read the post and the comments out loud. They read them to her face. Comment after comment after comment calling her a bully, a narcissist, an emotionally stunted drunk. Reddit, I owe you a beer for the public shaming you unknowingly delivered. Apparently, Lisa tried to deny it at first, but there's not a lot of wiggle room when you've spent 15 years making the same mean jokes about a child in front of the same 10 people. She got quiet. Like, actually quiet, which has never happened before. I found all of this out after she stormed out and went home early. I didn't even get to hand her the fireball egg. I was going to do it with a little bow on top. Missed opportunity, TBH. After she left, Aunt Jackie pulled me aside and told me everything. And then, get this, my family apologized. My grandma, my uncle, even my mom, who I know already felt bad, but she just looked me in the eye and said, "I didn't know it still hurt this much. I should have done something sooner." And that got me. I didn't cry in the moment, but it kind of hit me later, like, damn. All this time I thought I was just being sensitive, but I wasn't crazy. I wasn't weak. I was just a kid being bullied by an adult. And it was real. I think that's why I'm writing this update. Not just to tell you what happened, but to say, if you're dealing with a Lisa in your life, you're not overreacting. It's not your fault, and you're definitely not alone. Edit. For those asking, yes. The fireball egg is now sitting on my desk like a weird little trophy. Might turn it into a Christmas ornament just to keep the pettiness alive in festive form. Not sure if this is the end of it, but it's the first Easter in over a decade that I didn't cry or feel like garbage. And that's a win in my book. Update 2. I didn't think I'd be back again so soon, but things have happened. And I think I finally closed a chapter that's been open way too long. So last we left off, Lisa left Easter dinner early after basically getting Reddit shamed by my family. Aunt Jackie found my original post. Everyone confronted Lisa before I even arrived. And for the first time in probably my entire life, I wasn't the problem. I thought that was the end of it. Honestly, I was feeling really good after Sunday. Like something finally clicked into place. I wasn't imagining the years of digs and jabs. It wasn't all in my head. People saw it. They heard it. And for once, they actually did something about it. But of course, people like Lisa don't just evaporate. The next day, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I usually don't answer, but I'd applied for a couple jobs recently and figured it might be one of those automated check your email messages. Nope, it was Lisa. I almost didn't answer. I wish I hadn't, but curiosity got me. She sounded off. Not drunk, shockingly. Just flat, like the performative tone she always had was gone and she didn't know what to replace it with. It was honestly a little eerie. She started with, "I guess congratulations are in order. You got your little revenge post. You happy now? No, hi. No, how are you? Just that." I didn't respond right away, so she filled the silence with, "You made me look like a monster to the whole family." I finally said, "I didn't make you look like anything. You did that yourself." There was this pause. I could hear her breathing on the other end, and I could tell she wasn't expecting me to say that. She probably thought I'd backpedal, or apologize, or say something awkward. But I didn't. And then she said something that I'm still processing. You know, I don't even remember half of it? Those years? I was going through some stuff, and I probably wasn't great to be around. But you didn't have to air it out like that. That was the closest thing to an admission I've ever gotten from her. And maybe that would have meant something a few years ago. Maybe even last year. But now, I just felt numb. I told her, "You don't remember it, but I do. I remember every time you made me feel small. I remember crying in the bathroom while everyone else laughed. I remember avoiding family dinners because I couldn't handle being humiliated by an adult who should have protected me. So yeah, I posted it, and I'm not sorry." She got quiet again, and then she sighed. Not the dramatic woe is me sigh she usually does. Just tired. "I was hurting too, you know," I said. "Yeah, but you hurt people who didn't deserve it. You hurt me. And you never stopped." There wasn't much more after that. She didn't apologize. Not really. She kind of muttered something about things getting taken out of context online and family being too sensitive, which is her way of avoiding accountability. But she also didn't yell, didn't try to gaslight me, didn't twist it into a joke like she usually does. Before she hung up, she said, "I don't think I'll be coming to family stuff for a while." And that was it. No closure wrapped in a neat bow. No heartfelt apology or tears. Just a broken little phone call from a woman who finally saw a mirror for the first time and didn't like what stared back. After the call, I just kind of sat on my bed in silence for a while. Not sad, not angry, just processing. Later that night, I told my mom about the call. She didn't say much, just nodded and hugged me. Then she said something I'll never forget. "You were never the problem, sweetheart. You were just the only one brave enough to say something." Edit. A few people messaged me asking if I felt guilty about the post blowing up. Honestly, not even a little. If someone's embarrassed by their own behavior when it's repeated back to them, that's on them, not the messenger. This whole thing has honestly been a weird kind of therapy. I feel lighter. Not fixed, not perfect, but like I finally stood up for myself in a way that younger me would have been proud of. Thank you to everyone who gave me courage, whether it was a snarky comment, a virtual hug, or just a, "Yeah, she sucks." It helped more than you know. Final update. This is probably my last update. Not because there's drama left to tell, but because somehow I feel like I got what I needed. And maybe even a little more, so it's been a week. I didn't really plan to post again. Honestly, I figured the whole Lisa thing was over. She made her weird call. She disappeared from the group chat. She didn't show up to my grandma's weekly Sunday leftovers gathering, which she never misses, especially when there's pie. It's been radio silence on her end, which, if you knew Lisa, is genuinely more unsettling than any yelling or snide remark. But what surprised me the most isn't her silence. It's how different the air feels without her. This past Sunday, we had leftovers at my grandma's like usual. I debated going. I really did. I wasn't sure if it would feel weird or like there'd be some unspoken tension. But my mom asked me to come, and it felt like the first time in forever that the invitation wasn't dipped in guilt or obligation. I showed up. I brought muffins. It was peaceful. Actually peaceful. People were laughing, talking. No one was side-eyeing anyone or trying to provoke a scene. My little cousin actually started an egg hunt in the backyard with some leftover plastic eggs. I stood there, watching them run around, and for the first time, I didn't flinch at the sound of someone yelling, "I see one," from across the yard. No anxiety, no pit in my stomach. Just kids being kids. My grandma came over and put her arm around me. She didn't say much. Just, "It's nicer like this, isn't it?" And I nodded, because yeah, it is. It's so much nicer when the person sucking the oxygen out of every room isn't there. It's not just about Lisa. I think I spent so many years tiptoeing around people's egos that I forgot what it felt like to exist in a space without bracing for emotional shrapnel. I'm not saying my family's perfect now. We're still loud and messy and overshare way too much. But I think they finally heard me. And they're trying. That means more than I ever expected to get out of one impulsive Reddit post. Something else happened too. Something smaller, but it hit me just as hard. My mom and I were doing dishes after dinner, and she asked if I still had that whiskey egg I brought last week. I laughed and said, yeah, it was still sitting on my dresser like some kind of petty participation trophy. She didn't say anything right away, but then she dried her hands and said, "You know, I think you've carried that egg for a long time. Not the plastic one. The heavy one." I didn't know what to say to that. Still don't. But I think she's right. For so long I thought I was weak for crying, or dramatic for remembering, or just too sensitive. But the truth is, I carried that weight because no one else would. And the second I finally put it down, the people around me finally realized it was heavy too. That egg? The metaphorical one? I'm done holding it. Lisa still hasn't reached out again. I don't expect her to. Maybe she's nursing her ego or waiting to spin the story into some family-turned-on-me tale of martyrdom. That's fine. She can do that somewhere else. I'm not responsible for how she rewrites the narrative. I'm only responsible for telling mine. And this is it. Final edit. To everyone who read this, commented, or messaged me, thank you. You didn't just help me clap back with some petty comebacks, though those were fire, let's be real. You helped me feel seen, and for someone who spent most of their childhood being laughed at for crying over Easter eggs, that means more than I can explain. Take care of your inner child, protect your peace, and never be afraid to hand someone their plastic egg filled with consequences.